customs, and nobody wants you. About deceiving hearts, and before you know it, your peace of mind is gone. Before you know it, every right is wrong. Oh, yeah. Don't worry if they criticize you. Don't worry if they're not on your side. Just find a better courage. Peace will be found. Though you gotta try to live it from within.
Judy Cheeks, welcome to the RMN podcast. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. I'm amazed at your career. Wow. I mean, it's like, just going through all of the, I want you to tell the story, but I was reading it and I'm going, no way, no way, no way, no way. There's so many exciting parts to it. How did you get into the music industry in the first place? What was taking yourself back to the beginning? What was your first real moment of, going from singing to, I'm actually doing this professionally?
Well, I have a very musical background. My father was a gospel singer, preacher, and everything. So people like Sam Cooke, Mavis Staples, these people were constant visitors in the house. So I was always surrounded by music. So I didn't see music as a profession. I saw it as a life. So my mother was very strict. You can only sing in church and school. So my other friends like Betty Wright and people like that were doing records at 14 and, they were teenagers and stuff, but I wasn't allowed. So I had to wait until I finished school, and I had a scholarship to go to the University of Miami. So I did 2 years while I was in my high school years. So I had college credit, but I didn't want to stay in Miami. I wanted to get out and sing. So my father didn't encourage me to go into the business because, women in the business, girls in the business, it could be a bit dodgy.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So I had to do it on my own. So I went to Los Angeles, and I entered at the time they had these talent shows, where you just got up and you sang and whatever. So the guitar player, Jackie Clark from Ike and Tina Turner, was in the audience. And so he says, "Oh, I got to take you to see my boss." I said, "Who's your boss? Who's your boss?" He says, "Ike Turner." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, whatever." So there was another girl there who I befriended, and I said, "Look, I'm not going down there by myself. So, you come with me." So she came with me, and she went with me. And so Ike sat me at the piano, and he played and he sang, and I can't use the profanity he used, but he says, "You are MF, you're," So he got on the phone and he called Tina and he said, "Get down here, you got to hear this girl." So she walked in, and I was amazed because everything I'd seen of Tina, she's this wild woman with the hair and the legs and all this. And she walked in and she was this demure, beautiful woman. She had on a baseball cap, well, a sporty, classy cap, not a baseball cap. And her skin was smooth. And I was, wow, is that Tina Turner? So they immediately took me in because I was just a young church kid, little girl from Miami, country girl from Miami. And they just took me in like family. And Ike said to me, "I'm going to record you. I'm going to record you." And I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. And so they did. So he signed a deal with me with United Artists, and we did. And he said to me, "Because of your voice, I want to do a blues album on you because I don't think pop really captures, the soul in your voice." And I'm like, "Blue? What do I know about blues? I'm a church girl, teenager. I was in love with you, baby." It's like, I didn't know anything about the blues. But anyway, so he said, "I really want to do a blues album." So I did a blues album, and I asked him if I could do sort of a pop song in it. So I did Endlessly, Higher Than the Highs. So I did that on the album. So, because I didn't want to be an Ike. Okay, they were not going to kill me on that stage. I was just not going to do that. Tina wanted me to be an Ike. I said, "No, I'm not going to be an Ike." So anyway, I traveled while I was signed to them at a young age, you know, people like Frank Zappa, all these kind of people who came in the studio, if they needed background or whatever, you know, Tina and I did it, you know, because singing to me is just singing. It doesn't matter if you're singing lead, background, whatever, you know, it's just music. That's the art of it all. So anyway, we went through that phase, and then I traveled with them, and on one of the tours.
What was that experience? I mean, you know, I've managed to meet Tina Turner one time in my life, and it was, I mean, my story of Tina Turner is very, very short, but I was at the World Music Awards in France, and she now lives there, of course, but
No, she doesn't. She lives in Switzerland.
Yeah, and we were at the after party, and I didn't know. I mean, I knew some people, but I mean, I didn't know any. I mean, it was all big names, Rod Stewart and this person, Andrew Lloyd Webber, all the people that were at this world music party. And she came up and she grabbed my hand and she went, "Let's dance, baby!" And she pulled me up onto the dance floor, and I think she felt, this guy's you know, he you know, I was young at the time, and he's you know, on his own kind of thing, and she wanted to include me, and she was super. I mean, she was amazing. But
she's an amazing. See, this is the thing. I know a lot of famous people, and the thing about famous people, they're very down to earth. They're real people. That's why I don't understand this new culture of, you know, divas, and you know, I don't get that. I've been around famous people my whole life, so I'm not. You know, when I meet someone who's famous, it's like, hey, how you doing? You know, because it's just, to me, everybody's the same, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway,
what was it like, though? I mean, because, I mean, obviously, I mean, Ike Turner, I mean, although he had some bad press with the Tina thing and everything, but I mean, he was really special when it comes to producing music and making.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't want to get into their private life. They've both told their sides of the story, and you know, I didn't witness any of the violence. I didn't witness that. What I witnessed was, you know, fun-loving, music-making, family-like vibes, you know. And Ike was a very good person. You know, he would give people things. He would, you know, he would, I mean, there are people, even people like Al Green, Little Richard, all these people, none of them would have really had their start had it not been for Ike. He doesn't receive the credit for all the things he's done for the music, you know, world, unfortunately. And I think it's sad that people will remember the bad instead of the good, because he did a lot of good. And he, you know, you can't blame people for your own choices. You know, like he knew, for instance, I was just a straight up and down. That what he and Tina liked about me is I'm straight up and down. You know, I'm not impressed. You know, it's like he would give me the keys to the Rolls Royce. Here, Judy, take the car. I'm like, okay. He says, you're not excited? I'm like, it's not mine. Why should I get excited about your car? You know, I went and bought myself a little Volkswagen, and I was quite happy, you know, because so he says, you're not like everybody else, you know. And so when people recognize you for being authentic and for being who you are, you know, they don't force you. I mean, if you really are strong in your own beliefs, then you can't be swayed by other people's, you know, craziness or whatever. So but the whole Baltic Sound thing, that's the studio, it was called Baltic Sound. I saw all these grown-ups, because don't forget, I'm still a teen year, you know, taking coke and all this. And I'm like, what? Look how crazy they're acting. Oh no. So I mean, I was never tempted to take drugs, but it was like, if it makes you like that, no, I don't need it, you know. So I learned a lot there. And also musically, there were no limits. You know, Ike would walk in the studio one day and he would say, Judy, take the guitar. Tina, take the bass. Now play. You know, he didn't say, can you play? You know, just play. So you did everything based on what you felt, you know, musically. And then one day he'll send me in the studio and say, Judy, you sing. He said, Judy, you can sing. Tina, you can't sing. The next day, Tina, you can sing. Judy, you can't sing. So, you know, he played these, and we would just look at each other like, oh, it's your turn today, you know. But But what I think the most exciting thing about being around them was the energy. I mean, you could not be around them and be a lazy person, because they were both very vibrant and very, very active, and constantly. I mean, constantly. So, you know, they used to tease me because I'd walk in, you know, like at the time, they had these shoes called clogs or whatever, and I loved them because they were comfortable. I'm a Miami girl. I like to be comfortable. And Ike would say, Judy Cheeks, I could be in a good mood, and you walking in with them ugly ass shoes on, and you just ruin my day. So it's that kind of stuff, you know. But you know, it was like a family. Christmas parties, you know, we it was like family, you know. And all the negative stuff you hear, I mean, it's not really how it was.
How long did that period in time last for you, Judy? And I mean, and I mean, there was two questions I had there. Really, was how long did that kind of time period go on for you, and what was the first record that sort of defined you? As you said, you never really saw it. It was a life. Singing was a life. But I mean, what was your first record that sort of really made you think, wow, you know, this is it. This is it. You know.
This is it. Well, after the period, when I was on tour with them once, somebody from Germany said, oh, you should move here. You should come here, because it was right after the Donna Summer thing, and it's like, oh, you should come here. And I also got an offer in Paris, but I chose Germany. And so I went over, they sent for me, and I did, first I did a duet with Udo Jürgens, who's like the Frank Sinatra of that, you know, Germany, Austria, Switzerland and stuff. And it was like overnight success. Who's that girl? And I'm like, what? So then the producer who was responsible for me going to Germany, Tony Mon, got very jealous. Oh, you know, I discovered her. Why are they saying Udo discovered her? So anyway, so Udo said to me, well, just go ahead and do a single with him, and, you know, it'll probably, you know, it won't do anything, but, you know, just go do that, and then you can come back, and then we can make real music. So I went and I did Mellow Love, and it was a hit.